So, hey
Brilliant.
everyone, happy Friday. Can't believe it's Friday already. The week has come and gone entirely. We're going to go officially live in just a second, but in the meantime, I haven't had Carlos on in a very long time. How's it going, man?
All good, dude. All good. Yeah, been a while since I haven't joined. Tried to go Anon for a while, and didn't really work. So now I'm sort of using my Anon nickname, but showing my face and being called Carlos Live. So brilliant
Yeah,
stuff.
they found you. Let me actually see, when was the last time you were on? Um, I could I'm just out of pure curiosity. It does seem like it was this one when we talked about SBF and stuff. So it's got to have been
Oh
uh,
shit! Is that the one I
no.
told you? You looked kind of like a better version of SBF.
It might have been one of those times.
Okay, yeah, one of those.
Yes, one of those times. I'm used to
Good
having my
luck.
feelings hurt, but that was November of 2023, so almost 2 years ago. So yeah, not bad. Uh,
Not much has changed. Happily.
yes, and it is kind of funny how I do. Obviously we're going to be talking about it, like Saylor and stuff, but I do kind of like um, I do kind of like how we have been talking about this sort of thing for a very long time, that there might be some risks associated, etc. Um, and now the inmates are getting restless, let's just say. So
They are, and I will start with my top opinion of this micro narrative cycle, saying that, in my opinion, the next bear market is going to be triggered by one of these treasury companies going bust. Because now that it's become fashionable for just about anyone to launch their own treasury, you just know one of them is going to get real greedy.
yeah. Um, Let me. I'm gonna find some other stuff. We haven't even run the intro yet on this thing. I probably should. I
We're
gotta
already
find
touching shit.
one more post to where people um there's an individual in particular who's been shilling Sailor for a long time that I'm trying to find. You know. Okay, I got it all. All right, let's hit the actual intro and get going with this. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So, hey everyone, officially now welcome to the Digital Cash Rundown. This is episode 201. 201 weeks in a row, kind of, with some vacation times. I've been doing this show, and I'm joined by the one and only, no one else with that name, Carlos Cano. How's it going, man?
All good, all good. Good to see you again, man. 2 years since we've done this last time, and not much has changed. At the same time, everything has changed. And of course, always appreciate an opportunity to make fun of Michael Saylor,
Yes, of
even when
course.
undeserved.
Yes, and this is that's kind of like the highlight of this whole thing. But I should actually, let me grab this hat because it just came in. The 84 million people, that's a Litecoin podcast, gave me this, and Make Money Sound again. I should
All
probably
right.
wear it. In fact, maybe I'll just wear it. I gotta take the headphones off, so don't say anything too important.
All right. MMSA doesn't sound that great.
There
Um,
we go.
MMSA doesn't have that great sound to it. Doesn't have that great ring, but it's all right.
Mimosa.
Fantastic.
It's Mimosa. Yes,
Should have been
I do.
green
I do
or
like it.
gold.
I like how it goes with the Dash Evolution shirt, and
Oh yeah, with that she looks fantastic.
he has another one that he gave me from not this Litecoin conference, the one before, that says Liberty, and the L is Litecoin, the B is Bitcoin, and it's like a Liberty shirt. I like that one too. So I owe it to people to give them, whenever they give me free shit, I like to show it off for them. And just the last couple of times I was showing off, the Digital Spenders Club gave me like a whole sweatsuit, like a cream colored sweat, like a white cream sweatsuit, and a little NFC wallet. And so even though it annoys my wife when I wear it. I call it my swag suit, and she gets really annoyed that I still
Am
wear
I
it.
seeing Michael Saylor in the background though? Is that like a postcard with Michael Saylor's face, or who is that?
No, which one? Which one are you talking about?
There's like a green pop, like a orange postcard behind you, right underneath the onion.
Oh yes,
That is Michael Saylor, isn't it? I can't tell the
this
motherfucker.
is the first privacy edition of the Bitcoin Takeover podcast magazine, and you
Oh
see the
wow!
Pepe Frog saying "feels bad, man," and he's being
Yeah,
spied
okay, I
on while he's
get
peeing,
it.
and this is
Brilliant.
the background is Michael Saylor's point of view. And what I like about this one, and there's a lot of things I like about this one, but I have an article in here, and so that's the big reason. I mean, here we go. This one, how to privately live on crypto. Who's that guy?
Oh
Yes.
wow!
So that's
Okay,
the reason.
does your name actually have those two, like those 2 points on top of the E?
Not necessarily. Well,
That's
it's
a
not on
very
my.
Mexican of you.
It's not on my government documentation, but it's named after my grandfather, Giuseppe Luigi, or Joseph Louis, or Joe L. So it's pronounced Joe L, and so people don't say Joel. I use like the French spelling, Joel. So people are like, oh,
All right.
so they say it right, but it's not on documentation. But I just put it everywhere else. Just like what is it called? Word disrespector, or whatever the hell you have. What is it again? Word abstractor. There we
Should I
go.
fucking tell myself that shit? Like, I know I gotta go back
Word
and.
disrespector. You disrespect people's words. Yeah. So I wanted to give everyone the proper shout out to everything, and I need to redo all my shelves. I will be doing that very soon. Actually, have a box of shelves to do, and the background will be nice, and then I can have everything and not just have it look weird like this. But poster. I'll just show off the poster one before it goes on the actual wall.
All right. Let's see
This
it.
was from
Here, I'll try.
consensus of this year. All Doge go to heaven. And
Nice.
they had a bunch of nostalgia type crypto things. And
Yo,
that's the one.
Are you going to any of the Asian conferences before I forget asking you?
No, not that I know of. Because here's the thing: it's costs more money to go, and no one has invited me to pay my trip yet. And so
All right.
I've had a few where people have paid the trip, but it's been all Europe so far. So one of these days, maybe if you see like the dash price go above 200 or something like that, then I can probably start doing like work trips for like all the conferences. But like, we'll see. So first, before we get started on the actual Sailor stuff, because that's why you're all here. Hopefully, oops, I do want to give a shout out to. Actually, I'm on the wrong stream thing here again. This is what people pay the big bucks for. Is the
The medium bucks.
yes is is to actually get this thing right at the same time. There we go. So I gotta shill Coin ATM Radar, right, because they sponsor me. So this podcast is very proudly sponsored by Coin ATM Radar. And when you're buying with crypto with cash, an ATM is much more reliable and safer than meeting some rando in a random place. And unlike an exchange, which could freeze your account, you do actually truly own all the crypto you buy. With Coin ATM Radar, you can find crypto ATMs and other services where you can buy or sell cryptos for cash. On the website, you can search by coin, address, if an ATM supports selling as well as buying, and you can also search by geographical area such as country, state, or city, and you can check and compare actual current fees from different ATMs. Find out more, go to coinatmradar.com, which is coinatmradar.com. They've been very nice to me for all these years, and I have used them to find ATMs when I do travel, because obviously I'm not going to need to buy any crypto, but sometimes you need to sell some for euros or whatever. Are there any ATMs near where you're at?
Near where I'm at, basically the one in the airport.
Well, that's better than nothing, right?
Basically nothing. As good as nothing.
Yeah. All right. So let's just talk about the Sailor stuff, because, again,
Yeah,
no
let's
big.
do it. We can always go rove after that.
Yes, no news, no specific news items, but just it's fun to highlight this stuff. So let me show his post here. So he posted, and this is what really caused a stir. He said Strategy has acquired 430 Bitcoin for 51 million, blah blah blah, and that now it was this achieves a BTC yield of 25.1% YTD. Now holds 629,376 Bitcoin, which is a lot. But then he goes down here, and he says Saylor. It says Strategy today announced an update to its MSTR equity ATM guidance to provide greater flexibility in executing our capital market strategy. So now with this equity guidance thing, basically they say depending on where it is with the MNAV, they will opportunistically issue extra MicroStrategy shares to acquire Bitcoin, and even if they're not doing super well, they will tactically issue it to pay interest on debt obligations, fund preferred equity dividends, and when otherwise deemed advantageous to the company. So, so basically what that means is, there's a lot of things it means, but the big thing is whoever, basically money printer go burr. Right?
Yeah.
MSTR printer go burr. A lot of people, this kind of gets to the bottom of the whole thing, is so Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin. That's literally the entire thing his company does, which anyone could do, I guess. But what he does is he takes on debt and also, issues company shares, etc., in order to raise money for that Bitcoin. And for a period of time, his stock has outperformed Bitcoin, because people view it as, I don't know why. I don't know what they're thinking of when they buy that stuff. But so basically, a lot of people, and I know Bitcoin maximalists have done this too, right? They bought MicroStrategy instead of or in addition to Bitcoin. So now they're funding his acquisition of more Bitcoin. And then now when he needs more money, he just dilutes all their money by issuing more shares. And so people are starting to get a little bit upset about this, but it's pretty funny. So what are your first thoughts on that?
Well, when you say money printer go burr, to start from the very beginning, I think I just get thinking it's funny. I hadn't even really thought about this, but I see a lot of people celebrating lately whenever there's a signal that interest rates might get cut, that more money printing would be happening, because for a big share of the crypto community, that's basically their only shot at making money or surviving at all, that there's more money printing. So always funny to see how we keep contradicting ourselves. And then when it goes to Saylor alone, I've never been a fan of the dude. I think we're closer to the point where he starts selling and we start seeing people turn against him, which is you can tell the guy loves the attention. You can tell the guy loves being this god in the Bitcoin community. But because of how the internet is, the minute it's not as convenient to spouse him, they will start very heavily attacking him. So I think it'll be an entertaining ride, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. It's clear that he's trying to create, again, this is stuff everyone's repeated for years now. He's trying to create as much hype behind Bitcoin as possible, not buy the dip and hold or sell the top. He just wants to buy the top, keep it going. And so he can then issue more things and just keep it going and see how high it goes. Now, the end game, it's hard to tell exactly what the end game is, because, of course, the one big end game is everything could come collapsing down. He has to sell a bunch of Bitcoin to pay for debts. The company goes bankrupt. Everything crashes. He loses everything. That's very possible, right? I'm going to take a more charitable position, maybe. I don't know if it's a position, but I think things could crash, but not everything. And
Yeah.
as far as I know, it seems like he is using MicroStrategy and whatever other crap he sells he's using those holders as exit liquidity, basically. As in, he's taking their money, getting a bunch of Bitcoin, and eventually he will still have the Bitcoin. It will still have a certain amount of value, even if it tanks a little bit. But their thing that they bought will be super worthless. They'll lose a lot of money. And, he already did this like 20 years ago or something with MicroStrategy. It would, when the stock went super high and then crashed to zero. But now he if he figures if he could do that pump and dump and get a bunch of stuff that's going to last, like Bitcoin, that'll work out. So I feel sorry for the people who've gone on this. Now, the funny thing here, and I'm going to scroll back down here to the comments here, is instead of people just being super nice and positive, people are starting to get upset. And then, like, for example, I don't disagree with the issuing common stock opportunistically. However, this is a real issue for me. Just a couple of weeks ago at earnings call, it was announced no new issuance before 2.5 MNAV. Why the change? Promising investors one thing, then changing things very soon after. And then you keep on going down. And then, sir, how will this maximize the share price of MicroStrategy? Oh, sorry, dude. It's not. That's not the point. Hilarious that you've already changed your pros after selling shares. And then, I've been a holder of MicroStrategy since August 2020. I've held blah, blah. There's too many question marks about what you're doing. It's making me feel, for the first time, a bit unsettled. Oh, no. For the first time. And then this JBit, who again, Bitcoin logo in his name. Not everyone bought MicroStrategy before fall of 2024. Harping on previous performance over the last 1+ years doesn't hold up when the stock has underperformed since the end of November. 9 months of underperforming matters. It's like, the exit liquidity is getting upset.
And like, it's stupid that it would have a premium over BTC because that's their only play, right? Their only play is to accumulate Bitcoin. So at the very least, you can tell people would feel upset if the price went to equal Bitcoin, which of course is like kind of cheating on Bitcoin's price a little bit, or in Bitcoins. Yeah, well, when we say price, obviously like the digital cash narrative is done for Bitcoin. So we all know Bitcoin is not digital cash anymore. It's not digital money. It's something else, whether you like it or not. So now the question is like, okay, would the holders be equally happy if it just mirrored Bitcoin's price perfectly? I think the answer is clearly not. Like they like to see it as a leverage play on Bitcoin. The funny thing, well, what I've always wondered is like, I don't know, I'd like to hear your theory on, is like, what do you think happens once like there's no more Bitcoin to accumulate and Michael Saylor holds like 90% of them? If that ever happens, so like imagining it will happen within our lifetime, do you think like what happens? Like, what's the end goal here in your mind? I think it's just a fame play, really.
Well, I think the fame play could be true. I more think that the fame play is a play to get more Bitcoin, because if he just said we're doing this, people would invest in his company if successful. But it's a fake company. In fact, I have some friends that earlier in the year went to his MicroStrategy offices because there was some event there. And they don't have like any computers in there or anything. It's just empty. Like literally, it's just like a couple guys buying Bitcoin and posting on AI slop on Twitter. And then like, it's it. And so I think that he's creating this weird cult persona because he wants to scam people. He wants to sell to stupid people who don't understand what he's doing and just think, I gotta get more Bitcoin if I buy this. So that's kind of what I think he's sort of trying to do. I don't think he's ever going to get that much Bitcoin because BlackRock and other people have the other big chunk. If he did manage to get like over 10% or over 20% of the entire supply, I think that would be horrible for the price of Bitcoin. Like if people would see it's basically MicroStrategy coin and then strategy coin, and then there's no value to that. If 90% is like $10, like $10 a Bitcoin, it's like no way. So that's kind of the end game if he gets that high. I don't see him surviving another cycle like this though.
And now that opens, like, I don't know if this was live when I was saying it or not, but like that opens the question for what happens to all the copycats that are surfacing around crypto, because now you get the Ethereum treasury companies, you got like some, even I think there's for Link, for Solana, for a couple more. And what I was saying is that I think the next bear market gets triggered by a few of those going bust. And I don't see this as like a far-fetched vision at all, especially with something like more volatile, like Ethereum admittedly is like in periods of downtrends, Ethereum tends to severely underperform Bitcoin. And if someone gets really greedy and over-levered and they hold a lot of it, they can cause real trouble. You might even see attempts to sabotage projects between these treasuries and all that. So I think, yeah, we're in for an eventual clusterfuck when it comes to treasuries.
Yes, absolutely. The treasury company idea, there's three ideas behind that. One is to give institutions exposure into having crypto, which they don't have to worry about custody, they don't have to worry about anything, they just buy a stock and therefore get exposed to the asset price. So that's one thing, and that's a very legitimate point, a very legitimate use case. Then we have the sort of, let's try to acquire more than just, let's try to grow our holdings. And so that's basically, you buy a bunch at, the dip, and then you wait till it goes up, and then you maybe sell some, and then you buy again. It's like basically like the a trading strategy to acquire more. And that's risky, but it's not that bad. Then you have like the micro strategy, which is like a degenerate Ponzi scheme built around this, and that's just going to zero, right? Because
Yeah.
these sailors so when we say treasury companies, I guess we have to differentiate between those three categories.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they're all there's a lot of like blurred lines in these things. Like, I don't think
Oh
there's
yeah.
any responsible treasury companies. I think they're all at least number two. So the only way something like MicroStrategy remains profitable long term is if the Bitcoin price never stops going up, or if the never runs out of suckers to sell to. Those are the two things. He never runs out of exit liquidity. So
Would that happen with something a lot more centralized? Because with Bitcoin, I even see, like, we've seen him hold through a bear market, so you have to give him some credit. Like, he managed to survive one big one. But then, like, do you see, like, not Michael Saylor, but Michael Baylor be able to hold with his Ethereum through, like, incredible downs, or even, like, look, I love cheating on Solana. That's my thing these days. I'm
mm-hmm.
a word Solana disrespecter. So, like, if you take Solana and something like what already happened to them happens, and they have to just do a big show of like trying to say their chain is not centralized when it is, and the price goes to nearly zero, how many of these protocols do you see treasuries do you see surviving a protocol falling like that? And then it's just topple over topple. Like, what, Luna wasn't even that big. People forget that, but like,
Mm-hmm.
Luna wasn't even like as big as, I think it wasn't even as big as Doge when the time it crashed. Don't quote me on that, but I think it wasn't even that big. So you can
Yeah.
see how things can go south real fast.
Yes, that's because everyone was right on this careful balancing act where they were like, it just sort of like, this is a situation with a lot of people where people have very little actual like savings, like personal money. And so if they have some small issue, like let's say that they need a $500 car repair, all of a sudden
Yeah, crazy.
they're done. They're just done. Like, they don't have anything. They can't make the payments. They like lose the house, lose the car, they lose everything, and are on the street, and they're done. So I think it was definitely like that because the yields were too crazy, and all these companies tried to they tried to compete with the yields, and then they were just super highly leveraged, and as soon as something happened, everything got crashed. Three Arrows Capital, then the cascading effect, and obviously FTX, and just Luna, just boom, it just all blows up. And so with the treasury companies, I can see the same thing happening here. I don't think it's as bad as last time as far as like the whole space, but for the Bitcoin space, yes, because Bitcoin has the most treasury companies. There are other treasury companies like Ethereum and I guess Solana and stuff like that, but they're not nearly as big of a percentage of the market as they are for Bitcoin. So it's going to be a Bitcoin thing, which let me put this post on the screen. So I quoted that a few days ago, and I said, look at the comments. Already investors are getting restless. We haven't even seen a crash yet. How this guy managed to scam there is no second best people into buying an infinite printing shitcoin will be studied for generations to come. Which is funny because at the end, like, do you know what horseshoe theory is?
Horseshoe, not really, no. Barbell rings a bell, but horseshoe, no.
It's kind of funny because let's just say there's like a political spectrum or an ideological spectrum. It's from this is the far left, this is the far right. It's not quite like that. It's actually like a horseshoe where at the extreme ends they end up being extremely similar. So like you have like absolute degenerate Solana meme coin shitcoiner here, and then you go all the way up to like a mostly Bitcoin, then a Bitcoin maxi. The most hardcore Bitcoin maxi is very similar back to the shitcoiner because
Oh yeah.
because they somehow like it's only Bitcoin, but then they buy all these like infinitely printed centralized crap like tokens, even though they're not digital tokens. They're just, you know, they are digital tokens. They're just not on any chain, and they just buy this stuff and just, you know, oh, more gains, and like it's exactly the same as like whoever's buying that Kanye West coin that whatever got
Well,
launched.
I mean, let me read to you something that I quote tweeted with my usual hate speech for Solana,
Hate
because
speech.
this was fucking hilarious. Like this guy, I'm not gonna read his name, that's too rude. But like he posts, what's at a crypto event tonight with people from all different ecosystems. When the Kanye coin dropped, all the Solana people got out their laptops and were monitoring the
Yeah, I
situation.
saw that one.
Everyone else was milling about, wondering what was going on. If you want to be a part of the action, build in Solana. Blah 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 Solana, blah 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 Solana. But it's like, how do you think that's a good thing, man? Like, are they like, why are you like, people are lining up to getting scammed, and that's actually why, like, now that you see like coins performing well, crypto going up, and it's all institutions, no one in retail is there because all the influencers, all the celebrities already took their money and they're fucking out of money. It's
Yes.
nuts. This is like the first time in my life that I see like so many people sidelined.
Yes, the no retail cycle. It's
The no
wild.
retail cycle, and even the Bitcoiners, they don't hold any Bitcoin because otherwise they would just be happy. When you see them that they're upset about other things' success, it's because they don't hold any fucking Bitcoin. They just like saying that they do.
Yes. And so there's an individual, like I am going to be petty here, by the way. This individual didn't do anything to hurt me other than just be dumb. And so I just went like, this could be a decent person that is just trying to make money, but I'm going to be disrespectful anyway, a little bit. So it goes, the BTC therapist, the Bitcoin therapist, and he has that yes meme profile picture, and
Oh my
he
god.
says, and so he got into Bitcoin in like 2020, 2021. So he bought the top, got wrecked, and now he's an influencer trying to be like, it's going to $1 million, like whatever, in order because he wants his money back and then some. And so he's also gotten to the MicroStrategy greed. And so this post here, he says, all caps, I'm going to die on this hill with the MSTR tag. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And then this one here,
Wow.
just in, the strategy vice president and CFO Andrew Kang has sold 20 million worth of MicroStrategy stocks so far this month. And so he says, this is false and should be community noted. Total of whatever shares were sold. They were sold and whatever. He's just making excuses like, no, it's false. And then this one, he did like the crying Joker meme. He says, my friends, how's that stock MicroStrategy told me to buy back in November doing? And then it's the the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy is gonna get riggedy wrecked. Um,
I'm trying to see if I can pull up the chart for MSTR versus BTC, because it has to be. I mean, oh, this is a good figure actually. It just like I don't know if this is true. It just says so right here. It's 16.6% more volatile than Bitcoin. So it does seem to trend a lot more aggressively than Bitcoin, which was a good thing up until now, where it's like underperforming it. Do you know why it's like, if there's like an official narrative on why it's underperforming right now?
on why what's underperforming?
uh, MS tier against Bitcoin.
There's no official narrative other than like it was way overinflated to begin with, but
Yeah.
then also the thing is like the momentum has slowed down. Like I have not actually, in full disclaimer, checked the actual statistics for um, the buys, like how much is he buying every month, kind of thing. But I've seen people say, "Wow, this is a small buy. Like the buys are getting very small. He's running out of capital." And then people go,
Oh
"Oh
yeah.
no," and people go, "Oh no," and then also he's just telling everyone, "Yeah, I'm gonna print a bunch of this shitcoin to pay for everything," and so now people are like, "Oh no." So a lot of it might be supply, just straight supply dilution, but a lot of it I think is also that,
Competition.
yeah, and also like fear, uncertainty, and doubt. People are like, "Oh my god," and so before, like it was just people like me. Like I, here's the thing. Like sometimes I get credit for things that I don't deserve, and being right on Saylor early is not credit I deserve. Like I wasn't some wizard or oracle. Like everyone who was not an idiot was calling this out years ago. And I just sort of was like, what is this guy doing? And I'm like, oh, yeah, those guys are right. He is going to go down and it is. And then now people are like, oh my gosh, you called the Sailor thing. I'm like, I didn't call anything. Like, this has been super obvious from day one. And now it's just going through its like cycle. But I used to post just a few months ago, even just like 2 or 3 months ago, Sailor this. And then there'd be a lot of people, including some people were did not think we're idiots, right? Some people who I follow that seem to be relatively intelligent, they're like, "No, I don't get it. Why is it gonna go down?" And I'm just like, "You, like, I did not expect this level of resistance to the idea that Sailor's Ponzi's game is going to crash at some point." That was months ago. Like, it was already a very controversial idea that this is all going to zero. And now a lot of not only those people, but then a lot of like a lot of the faithful, a lot of MicroStrategy holders are now getting a little nervous, and I'm like, oh, this is getting ugly. This is getting fun.
In my opinion, there's a lot of. I mean, I would go back again. I mentioned Luna, and then there's FTX. Like there was Celsius, there was BlockFi, there's been a bunch, right? And you just see everyone sides with the Ponzi while it's still running. I think like the first one I myself called out was Celsius, and oh, and also this other one. What was it like? What was the name of the project? Olympus Zao. You can tell they're Ponzi's. Like people call them out. The thing is, like a lot of the main like companies, main people, CEOs, whatever in the industry, everyone is either too dumb or too afraid to call this out. Um, and just when you think, okay, we're as an industry, we're getting smarter, we're telling this apart, we're not really falling for that again, then you realize, oh, but Sailor's still on. Sailor's still like running his very successfully, and now there's the Ethereum treasury fund. Now there's this and there's that. So yeah, I mean, Ponzi's never end. Like there's always some finance bro that's way dumber than your average crypto
Yeah,
guy.
it's like top signal, right? Um, we would not be in a bull market. Like people have been saying, "Whoa, it's such a weird market. We're not in a bull market yet this year." I'm like, "Yeah, we definitely are." Just because most things aren't pumping the way you wanted them to, but the fact that there's copycats, like as soon as Saylor, like the thing, I have to give credit where credit's due, right? Um, Saylor did figure it out. He figured out, okay, well, if I just, Bitcoin's probably going to go up at least during this cycle. I am going to buy all the Bitcoin I can, and that'll make my company money more than having a real company. And then if I just get some debt with favorable terms, I can just get more. And then, oh, what if I sold this shitcoin? What if I made more shitcoins? He's been printing shitcoins. It's hilarious. It's like Sailor.fun, you know? It's like
Right. Yeah.
it's just pump.
No, dude, but you're right. Like people say it's not a bull market because they're not being rewarded for just being in crypto. You actually
Mhm.
have to be smart enough to allocate your capital these days. Otherwise, you're sidelined like everyone that put a lot of money in cheat coins is. And again, like how many times are we going to go through this? Like, is it just like, do you think Wall Street is as dumb as this?
Yes.
And we
I
just never
just
realized because we were never a part of it.
I that's what I'm starting to realize. As I thought institutional things would make things a little like smoother, but it's not true. Institutions, people are just as dumb. It's just that there's more, I guess, like limitations, guardrails, whatever, on, and then there's also people are like older, I guess, in Wall Street, so they don't move as fast. Like, ooh, new thing. They're just like, so all this like it's not as crazy. But then you remember with the Game Stonks thing, when the Roaring Kitty and all that, with the GameStop stock going up, like
Oh
that was
yeah.
just as crazy as crypto. It was more crazy than crypto. And then he got into crypto after. So it's like that world is crazy. And then the Tesla stock is doing crazy stuff. And then Elon says, might be a little bit high. And then it tanks. And like it's the same
Mm.
dumb stuff everywhere. It's just, I think that we don't know it that much. And it's just, there's a lot more padding in between. It's kind of like, I would say Wall Street is sort of like 2017 crypto, where everyone wanted to do the casino still, but people had to be like, oh, high TPS, smart contract. They had to like talk a lot of tech words to pad in front of
Yeah.
the casino. Now they don't do that anymore, but they did then. And so Wall Street, they got to be, oh, company, S&P 500, put it in the world. They had to do all this stuff on top of the same pumpy nonsense that we have today. Just now, you have crypto being the crazy casino, and now Wall Street is having to compete. So now they're crazy. So we're, you know, like with the president of the U.S. and all the shitcoins he printed, like there's no respectability anymore. It's like we're due for a massive correction. I think, you know, but
And you,
probably Q1 next year. What do you think?
yeah, yeah. I don't think top signal yet. I think the top signal is it's gonna get more insane. Like the Trumps are still on tour talking about their world liberty fi. That thing is gonna be a giant Ponzi, if you ask me. I try and read a book
Me too.
called "Fooled by Randomness" by
Hmm.
Nassim Taleb every bull market because I feel like that prevents me from making stupid money decisions. And honestly, yeah, a lot of things that everyone's right in retrospect. Yeah, volatility is real, randomness is real. A lot of the things that we're seeing are just random, and maybe the pullback is gonna that's gonna cost all of us to die is gonna be cost by nothing. So hedge accordingly. If you're listening to this, it's not all about just like shitting on Michael Saylor. At least like I'm shocked by how many people don't have stop losses. I'm done being shocked by how many people don't hold crypto. Like I just assume no one does it and everyone's LARPing at this point. But
Yeah.
if you do hold it, set up stop losses. Like what are you, 16?
Well, yeah, exactly. I think that's the difference in this cycle, right? Saylor is so. First of all, just to finish on the treasury company thing, he was smart and he found a an exploit to the system, and he used it to print money or print Bitcoin or whatever. And I mean, of course, it's going to crash eventually. But a lot of his success is he did the crazy, risky, stupid thing when no one else was doing it, and took people a long time to figure out what's going on. So he's already way ahead of the game. So that's the one thing I will say is smart about Saylor is he figured it out early and he got in before anyone knew. And so then when you had Jack Mallers getting into his own thing, I think that is like, oh, Saylor has this scam going. I can get it. Why should he have all the scam? I want it too. That's kind of the thinking on number two, which is risky, but it's still a semi-intelligent thought. It's an evil thought, but it's intelligent.
Yeah.
Every treasury company after whichever one Jack Mallers, I don't even know what it's called. I don't care. But every single treasury company after that are going to be destroyed completely. Again, bold prediction maybe. I don't know. But it's just a thought. Because they're not in because they're like, I can scam a lot of people. Let me also get in on this. They just see money's being made. They're like, it's FOMO. They just are trying to get in. And that though, when you don't understand why you're getting in, that's when you're going to lose everything. Saylor at least understands what he's doing. These new companies after Saylor and Mallers, that's done. That's what I think. I think they will do much worse than Saylor and Mallers in the long run.
Yeah, and having said that, Bitcoin will live. Bitcoin will continue to be Bitcoin. Price may suffer temporarily. BlackRock might be our new old overlords, but for Bitcoin won't care about Michael Saylor going bust 10 years from now, and I think that's a good place to end this stream. I also would like to remind people there's only one decentralized smart contracts chain. Don't don't be fooled. It's too obvious at this point. Like, what do you like? Where it's 2025 and we're back at like people forgot what the importance of things being decentralized is, and hopefully with our new old overlords we will remember, because no one's going to launch a big tokenization project on a centralized chain. No one's going to launch anything worthwhile on a centralized chain. You still, I think, have time to recognize that and allocate yourself accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. I have to do more research, let's be honest, because there's a lot of these chains that I think everyone just sees, like Solana, of course, is the big one, that everyone knows it's scammy and stuff. But then I have some very smart crypto researchers who've gone into it and have said, like, no, the tech is super good. It's actually decentralized based on like these metrics and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? And so I have to look. Yeah, the thing is, and then I've seen like the TPS is faked, and they're like, yes, but even with the high even the real TPS, which is 10%, is still way better than everyone else. It's like, okay. So I have to actually, before I talk too much on is Solana scammy or not, which is my gut feeling that it is, I do have to do actual research, So that's why there's only so much I can say, because I don't know, and that's the easiest way to never be wrong is to never be wrong.
Right.
Don't say stupid shit if you don't believe it yet,
Just to voice all the controversial opinions that we haven't, because we spent so much time on Saylor. Do you think USDC is our definitive CBDC, disguised as a freedom play?
So I would kind of say yes, but I think it's not just USDC. I think it's the PayPal USD. I think the state of Wyoming issued their own stablecoin now. So there's a literal government issued stablecoin now, and there's so many. There's Euro stablecoins. There's so many ones. I think that CBDC is regulated stables. It's not one. It's the network of them. It's just like you have a central bank, but then you have individual banks like JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Santander, whatever else. And it's like, it's all still connected, even though there's different branches. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. So kind of yes.
All right, and let's drop it there because I do have to run, man. But thank you so
Perfect.
much for having me.
Thanks for
It's
being
been great
on.
catching up again.
Come on again soon. All right.
Will do,
I'll
for
see
sure.
everyone around. Bye bye. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Hey, hey, hey. Take a little while. You're muted right now, but there we go. I think I can hear something.
All right. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm running around like a headless chicken today, but
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what you were saying.
in a good way though.
Yeah.
Yeah.